famous celebrities who passed away in 1969 in the United States. This is the 7th part. Before we proceed, please subscribe to our channel to support us. Sharon Tate. She was born in January 1943 and she died in August 1969. Her age was 26 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was homicide. Sharon Tate was an American actress and model. During the 1960s, she appeared in advertisements and small television roles before appearing in films as well as working as a model. After receiving positive reviews for her comedic and dramatic acting performances, Tate was hailed as one of the Hollywood's most promising newcomers, being compared favorably with late Marilyn Monroe. She made her film debut in 1961 as an extra in Barabbas with Anthony Quinn. She next appeared in the British mystery horror film Eye of the Devil in 1966. Her first major role was as Jennifer North in the 1967 American drama film Valley of the Dolls, which earned her a Golden Globe Award nomination. The role would help her to become a rising sex symbol of Hollywood, appearing in a Playboy photo shoot by filmmaker Roman Polanski, Tate's future husband. John L. Lewis. He was born in February 1880 and he died in June 1969. His age was 89 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. John L. Lewis was an American leader of organized labor who served as President of the United States Mine Workers of America from 1920 to 1960, a major player in the history of coal mining. He was the driving force behind the founding of the Congress of Industrial Organization (CIO), which established the United Steel Workers of America and helped organize millions of other industrial workers in the 1930s during the Great Depression. After resigning as the head of CIO in 1940, thus keeping his promise of resignation if President Franklin Delano Roosevelt won the 1940 election against Wendell Willkie, Lewis took the United States Mine Workers out of the CIO in the 1942 and in 1944 took the union into American Federation of Labor (AFL). Lewis was a Republican but played a major role in helping Democrat Franklin D. Roosevelt win a landslide victory for the United States presidency in 1936. He was an isolationist and broke with Roosevelt in 1940 on FDR's anti-Nazi foreign policy. Lewis was an effective, aggressive fighter and strike leader who gained high wages for his membership while steamrolling over his opponents, including the United States government. Maureen Connolly. She was born in September 1934 and she died in June 1969. Her age was 34 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was cancer. Maureen Connolly was an American tennis player, the winner of 9 major single titles in the early 1950s. In 1953, she became the first woman to win a Grand Slam, all 4 major tournaments during the same calendar year. She is also the only player in history to win a title without losing a set at all 4 major championships. The following year, in July 1954, a horseback riding accident seriously injured her right leg and ended her competitive tennis career. At age 19, she died of ovarian cancer at the age of 34. At the 1951 U.S. Championship, Connolly, at age 16, defeated Shirley Fry to become, at that time, the youngest ever to win America's most prestigious tennis tournament. Her coach at that time was Eleanor Tennant. Connolly won her first Wimbledon title in 1952, defeating Louise Burrow in the final. She had arrived at the tournament with a shoulder injury but refused to withdraw when Tennant instructed her to do so. The ensuing argument resulted in the end of their partnership. Edgar Anderson. He was born in November 1897 and he died in June 1969. His age was 71 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Edgar Anderson was a prominent botanist and geneticist known for his work on hybridization in plants, particularly maize and iris flower. He introduced the term introgressive hybridization, and his 1949 book of that title was an original and important contribution to botanical genetics. His work on the transfer and origin of adaptations through natural hybridization continues to be relevant. Anderson was elected a Fellow of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences in 1934. In 1954, he was elected a member of the National Academy of Sciences. He was also president of the Botanical Society of America in 1952 and was charter member of the Society for the Study of Evolution and the Herb Society of America. He received the Darwin Wallace Medal of Linnean Society in 1958. He also wrote the popular science book Plants, Man and Life in 1952, described by one reviewer as a book every botanist and anthropologist should read. Gerald Fitzgerald. He was born in October 1894 and he died in June 1969. His age was 74 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart failure. Gerald Fitzgerald was an American Catholic priest known for founding the Congregation of the Servants of the Paraclete, which operates centers for priests dealing with challenges such as alcoholism, substance abuse, and sexual misconduct. He began his ministry as a priest in the Archdiocese of Boston and later became a member of the Congregation of Holy Cross. In 2009, his papers were unsealed. He had asked American bishops and the Vatican in the 1950s and 1960s not to reassign priests who sexually assaulted parishioners. He said that they were effectively untreatable and at risk of committing additional sex crimes and tarnishing the church's reputation. Fitzgerald argued so forcefully for the deforking, that is, forced dismissal from the priesthood of sexually abusive priests, that it has been argued that the Catholic hierarchy would have been made aware of the dangers of allowing such priests to return to parish work, where they would have contact with minors. Roman Richard Atkielski. He was born in August 1898 and he died in June 1969. His age was 70 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Roman Richard Atkielski was a Roman Catholic bishop who served as Archdiocese of Milwaukee, overseeing religious affairs and education initiatives. Roman worked as a cutter at a fur factory before his ordination. He was ordained to the priesthood on May 30, 1930. On August 2, 1947, Pope Pius XII appointed Atkielski bishop, and he was consecrated bishop on August 28, 1947. He was also the titular bishop of Stouby after Manuel Raimondo de Mello. Bishop Atkielski is listed among the Council Fathers of the Second Vatican Council, Session 1, 11th October 1962 to 8th December 1962. Bishop Atkielski was in office until his death. Thanks for watching the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Have a nice day.